Expired tags. Expired tags, man. This guy went from an expired tags slap on the wrist to 7 different charges, including eluding, speeding over 100 miles an hour, and driving in the wrong direction in a Charger Scatpack that he didn't know how to drive. He had this power, he had the gas, but he didn't know where he was going and didn't know how to drive the car. And now he's going to jail with 7 charges on top of his head, all over expired tags. Let's go ahead and get into it. What's up, guys? It's your boy Knockout 360 here with another video, man. So you can tell I'm in the house because my Hellcat is still in the shop getting work done. We'll talk about that later. Car content, car shows, car reviews, car meets, anything and everything car related happens on this channel, man. So if you're into that, make sure that you stick around. For everyone else, hit that subscribe button as well as that notification bell so that you know what's coming out and when it's coming out. Expired tags, man. How many times have we talked about this? Like, in certain situations, I understand why people run, right? If it's a stolen car, you're going to jail, and you know that you're going to jail. So you better try your luck and run. If the car is yours and you own it, it's in your name, and you got no murder warrants or theft warrants or drug warrants or nothing wild, a simple expired tags, guys, just pull over, take the L, take the fine, take the slap on the wrist, get your car, updated, renewed, and go on about your business. Don't end up like this guy. He went from an expired tags charge or an expired tags fine to getting charged with over 7 different crimes. He's going to jail. The car's impounded and totaled. Let's just get into it, man. Once again, as always, shout out to LRHN Cash. That's Little Rock Hood News Cash. Shout out to my dude. I'll put the link in the description. Arkansas State Police, no surprise there, ASP. So you know it's going down in Arkansas. And this is Jacob Bird. Apparently he's a famous trooper in Arkansas. And this is him again. So he's still active duty, out chasing, keeping the streets of Arkansas clean. So of course the audio doesn't kick in. Now I do find this interesting right here. Charger Scatpack just passes by. Now for some reason he decides to bust a U-turn. I don't know what that's about because Arkansas doesn't have front plates. So it's not like, he read the plates from the front and was like, oh, this is expired. That kind of leads you to a little bit of profiling on behalf of Mopars. All of these cars right here in this line, all of these cars, and out of nowhere, he decides that he wants to, run the plates on the Charger Scatpack. A little bit of profiling there. I'm not saying necessarily racial profiling, but just profiling on behalf of Dodge Charger owners and Challenger owners and Mopar owners in general. So as you can see, it's pretty much on at this point. He decides he wants to make a U-turn, hits the gas, gone. Now the chase is on. Now mind you, this chase is only going to last 2 minutes. So enjoy it while it lasts. That's a pretty cool shot right there. You hear it flying by, the engine and all that stuff. That's pretty cool. Look at all this straightaway. Now this is when that Charger is supposed to disappear. Yeah, gone. So remember when I told you that this chase is only going to last 2 minutes? This is where it ends.
He's going the wrong way on University. Wrong way on University.
My man is going the wrong way in broad daylight and gets pitted. Not even pitted, like he just took him into the grass. And they both went into the grass.
Hands! 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 No!
expired tags, man. The scat, it doesn't look like it's total, but all of that over expired tags. Like, let's look at the description. Shout out to LRHN, Little Rock Hood News. Check him out on Instagram. Check him out on he's on Facebook too, TikTok, all that stuff. Here's the charges right here: fleeing, felony, substantial danger of death, substantial danger of death. Okay. Obstructing governmental operations, no driver's license or license expired. I believe that that's what prompted this whole situation here. Failure to obey traffic control device, speeding, owner failed to register vehicle, expired tags, boom. Driving the wrong way. Now, so we see that. So long story short, owner failed to register vehicle, expired tags. So you could say, let me go ahead and stop this. You could say that was the whole reason for the stop, was the expired tags, right? Like, you know, you're going to get pulled over every single time for expired tags. In North Carolina, you've got to get your car inspected. You've got to get a updated sticker that's going to be in the top right-hand corner of the license plate. And if that is expired, you're going to get pulled over for that all day long. But I do find it interesting that at the beginning of the video, you saw that the cop and the charger were going in opposite directions. And in Arkansas, they don't have a front plate. So it's not like the police officer could have saw from the front plate, oh shit, his car is expired. Out of nowhere, he decides to bust a U-turn when he sees a Dodge Charger. And it just so happened that this guy's license was expired. So that kind of leads you to believe that there may be a little profiling involved, not necessarily racial, right? We're not going to make it racial, but just maybe profiling on behalf of Mopars in general. Because if you go to the beginning of the video, you will see that the cop or the trooper made a U-turn because he saw a white Dodge Charger in the opposite lane. Now, to my understanding, like, you know, having expired tags, that's not something that they're going to put a warrant out for your arrest. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not something that, you know, I would imagine as a police officer, you come into work Monday morning and they're like, be on the lookout for a white Dodge Charger. He's got expired tags. Like, that's not going to happen. What normally happened, or what probably happened in this situation, is that he saw a blacked out Dodge Charger Scatpack going in the opposite direction. And he figured to himself, let's see what we can get here. I'm sure we can get something on this guy, whether it's tint, whether it's expired tags, weed, something like that, guns, something. And it just so happened that he was able to get expired tags. Like, if you look at the description here, I'm going to read it for you. It literally says, approximately at 3:27 p.m., Trooper Bird was patrolling the area of Geyer Springs Road, northbound, when I observed a white Dodge Charger traveling southbound. Due to the low travel speeds as V1 passed me, I was able to read the license plate on V1 through my driver's side mirror, which displayed Arkansas, so and so and so. I ran this plate through ACAC while waiting for the ACAC to return. I do a U-turn, begin traveling southbound towards intersection, and that's when I approached V1 immediately, turn left, Signal Road. At this point, I initiated a traffic stop. Immediately after, I began accelerating quickly. Rear tires, lose traction. So, I mean, long story short, after reading all that bullshit, because I don't understand police jargon, V1 and AC, IC return. Long story short, it looks like he saw a Dodge Charger pass him in opposite direction. For whatever reason, he decided to focus in and zone in on this particular Charger, at which point he saw a license plate. Maybe he was able to eyeball the fact that it was expired, because in North Carolina, you can look at someone's plate and see the sticker in the right-hand corner, which is reflective, and you can see whether or not it's a 24 or a 23 or a 25. So you can see, you can kind of eyeball whether or not it's expired. So maybe that's what he was alluding to, that as this Charger passed him, he saw with his own eyes that this particular Charger had expired tags. And that's what prompted him to bust that U-turn and run up on him. That could be the case, or the other case could be he saw a Dodge Charger Scatpack in the opposite lane, blacked out tint, and decided, hey, listen, let's see what we can get. I'm sure we can get something. Now, the reason I bring that up is because I got a friend who is a police officer. He's actually a cop with Concord Police Department, Concord, North Carolina, for you guys that's not in North Carolina. And he drives a Charger as well, a blacked out Dodge Charger RT. And he knows I drive a Charger because we all used to ride in the same car club together back in the day. Long story short, I saw my man and we was talking, and he was like, yeah, don't bring your car in Concord because you'll get pulled over for 10, which is fine. I already know that. There's no surprise there. But what he did say was that one thing you have to be mindful of is that the reason we pull these cars over, or at least initiate traffic stops, is because you're always going to find something. Like you're highly likely to find something in a Dodge Charger or Dodge Challenger as opposed to a Nissan or a Toyota or even a Ford Mustang or Chevy or something. Like, we're likely to find something from what he told me. Illegal guns, weed, drugs of some sort, expired tags, money that, doesn't really add up or something like that. He pretty much told me that we're likely to find something, which is why when we see Dodge Chargers and Challengers that's blacked out tint, it seems to us that you're hiding something. This is his words, not mine. Now, you guys know anybody that gets tint on their car, they want it because of the looks. Like, that's the only reason I have tint in my car. That and the fact that, obviously I don't want people looking inside of my Hellcat when it's parked or even when I'm driving it. Like, what's going on inside of my car is none of your business. But I'm not hiding drugs and illegal guns and stuff like that. But to police, however, they see it the other way. They see that you are hiding something. They will profile you, not because of you being black or race or anything like that, but simply because of the car that you're driving. And another thing that he said was because these cars are some of the number one stolen cars in America, which is still true to this day, it's one of those things like we pretty much, we scrutinize more heavily Mopars than any other car on the road. So seeing this interaction here with the police officer that saw the Charger going in the opposite direction and he decided to bust a U-turn for no reason, and it just so happened that the plates were expired, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I would not be surprised if a lot of departments are like, listen, if you see a Mopar, Charger, Challenger, Scatpack, Hellcat, blacked out tint, 9 times out of 10, there's something in there. Like, we can pin something on this guy. And it just so happened that with this particular guy, he had expired tags. Unfortunate, sucks, but it is what it is. But at the same time, he had no reason to run. If it's only crime, which looking at the list of charges here, was expired tags, at least in North Carolina, I don't know about Arkansas, but in North Carolina, that's a slap on the wrist. That's one of those things where you might get a fine, depending on how far your stuff is expired. Because in North Carolina, if your expiration date is the 1st, you still get an additional 2 weeks to get it renewed before you can be pulled over. So, I mean, if it's within that 2-week period or whatever, and you get pulled over for it, you might get a slap on the wrist. You might, at the absolute worst, get a fine. Like, hey, listen, just get your stuff renewed and get it taken care of. If it's months out or years out, then yeah, you're probably definitely going to get a ticket or something like that. But I couldn't imagine you getting arrested and going to jail for expired tags. And I'm saying all that to say, this guy really should have just took that L, pulled over, and called it a day. But instead, he decided to run, and now he's got fleeing, obstructing, expired tag, failure to obey, speeding, failure to register vehicle, and driving the wrong way. So he went from one simple slap on the wrist, maybe fine, to 7 charges, one of which is a felony. And his car got towed. And he had a 9mm gun in that was in his waistband. So, that's just a situation of compounding your problems. But I did want to add in the whole profiling part because that is kind of key. It was just interesting to see that cop in the opposite direction, and then out of nowhere sees a Dodge Charger Scat Pack, and it's like, let me bust this U-turn real hard right here. I've had people do that to me too in North Carolina, and not my cat, but in my Scat. Well, they saw my car and it was like, oh shit, that's a blacked out Scat. Let's see what we got here. You got nothing. All my shit's up to date. I got a concealed carry permit. Everything's legal schmeagle in my car. So you don't have to worry about me. But unfortunately, this guy wasn't the case, man. But for all you Mopar guys out there, just be careful because everyone's watching us. People that want to steal our cars and police. Everybody's watching us. So just be careful, man. As always, it's been your boy Knockout 360. See you in the next one. Peace.